Hello and welcome back to Artist Way workshop. We are discussing the final chapter. It is rediscovering a sense of faith, and this is our last opportunity to do an artist date together, so I decided to do painting, and we've done 3 different projects today, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's hard to believe that our journey together over the past few weeks is coming to an end. First, I want to thank everyone who participated in this special beta workshop offered through me, Florecita Artshop. It has been an amazing, enlightening, and fun experience. This final chapter, Rediscovering a Sense of Faith, acknowledges the inherently mysterious spiritual heart of creativity. We address the fact that creativity requires receptivity and profound trust, capacities we have developed through our work in this course. Therefore, creativity requires faith. Faith requires that we relinquish control. And this process is frightening for most of us, which causes us to resist. We have been discussing all the different self-destructive ways we resist our creativity over the past few weeks. We examined how we threw up roadblocks to give us an appearance or illusion of control. We also examined how depression, like anger, sorry, I got something in my eye, like anger and anxiety manifesting in our sluggishness, confusion, and overall spinning our wheels are also resistance that creates disease in our physical bodies. Part of this fear is derived from the fact that most of us are not accustomed to believing that God's will for us and our own inner dreams can coincide. Indeed, instead we have bought the message of our culture that this world is a vale of tears and that we are meant to be dutiful and then die. Julia Cameron stresses that this is not the truth. She explains that our truest dream for ourselves is always God's will for us. This holds true for those who are considered artists and those who are considered hobbyists. It is the inner commitment to be true to ourselves and follow our dreams that trigger the support of the universe. Creativity in its truest form is a mystery, an unknown, and in some cases a dark, unfamiliar place. How can this place where God wants us to go be where He wants me to go? This may be one of the biggest questions we may have for ourselves. I have come to think of these opportunities to connect with God and the mysterious as a very real way to remain connected to the vine. In the Bible, it says that God is the vine and we are the branches, and as long as we remain connected with the vine, we shall flourish. If we are cut off, we will wither and die. And Julia Cameron presented a great body of work to help us work on these activities like morning pages for meditation and affirmation, exercise and movement, creative artist states, providing us all with tools for providing our relationship with God, or continuing our relationship with God and improving it. This does not end when we close this book. God willing, we will all continue this journey of healing through our serious commitment to taking ourselves more lightly and being more silly and having more fun by setting goals and boundaries. The artist date activity for this week was painting. We will have the 3 different mediums of painting projects so that everyone can do the one that best fits everyone's needs. Watercolor Still Life, Acrylic Pumpkin and Canvas Pour, and Oil Landscape on Canvas. Feel free to give each a try, or the one that you prefer. I'm looking forward to getting the photos from this week's artist date activities, the photos from the past completed activities, and I'll be putting them all together in a photo album that will be posted on the website. Future plans are, I'm intending on posting artist date activity videos and corresponding blogs throughout the fall and holiday seasons, so keep an eye out and please continue to have fun creating with us on me, Florecita Artshop. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. We are now into the last of the painting sessions for the final workshop for the Artist Way, and this is going to be an oil painting landscape. And then I have learned, my first painting that I learned was in oil, and it is a long time ago. And since then I've dabbled with other things, in watercolor and acrylics, of course. And oil is definitely a different, entire different thing to do. But I was trying to channel my inner Bob Ross and find a landscape that we could do together and have some fun with this, because remember what he says is that there are no mistakes, just these happy accidents. So I am going to try to remember that as we go through this oil painting. I think that we're going to try to do a hilly, mountainous, maybe a spring of water. We'll kind of play with, see what happens. Of course, you're free to follow along or decide to make your own little deviations and see what works for you. The things, of course, I went ahead and put some oils on my board so I can mix. And the other piece, for those that aren't familiar with oil, is as a medium, it is slower to dry, so it's not as, you don't have to work as fast as you do with water. But you also will need some other additives like linseed oil. Linseed oil mixed with your paints will help to slow down the drying process so that you can continue to go back and rework and refine as you see fit. So if you go in, you do your landscape, and then you come back and think, oh, you know, I want to go back in and work on adding a person in there, or maybe a different piece or a bench or something, then you can continue to work into your painting as long as it hasn't dried entirely, right? So you have an opportunity to continue to work well into more than just a 20 minutes or so. I have a few brushes, but remember that they are specific. So whenever you're painting and doing any of these other types of activities, artist dates, the important thing to remember is that all the brushes are really required by specific mediums. Otherwise, it can change the texture and the use of your brushes. And so oil, because you're using odorless paint thinner or mineral spirits to help with the oil, to clean your brushes, it will affect the brush itself. And so the actual brush that's used for oils are going to be different than, let's say, well, it should be different, or at least the quality would be different than, let's say, acrylics or watercolor. Watercolor is very sensitive as well. So mixing your acrylics with your watercolor can also affect your watercolor brush, the sensitivity of the brush with the way the water applies. And so you really don't want to mix your brushes. And I really say that specifically because as you're experimenting and you're going through these, some of these brushes can be pretty expensive. And so I don't want you to be ruining a brush right away by not realizing that they're not compatible with each other, or that, well, as you're cleaning them or as you're working with them, it can easily lose its ability to do what you really want it to do. So just make sure I stress that to you. Also, when I was thinking of Bob Ross, he always would like to paint with a knife, a painting knife. And they're all different sizes and shapes. I had struggled with the use of the knife, but I thought I might try today and see if it might work just this time around. But we'll see. So I got my odorless mineral spirits, my linseed oil, my paints, and my brushes. And I'm thinking that the best way to start is somewhere in the sky, and we'll kind of work our way down. So I think we're going to start a little bit with a nice blue sky. Add a little. I grabbed the wrong color. And we're just going to start from the top and do a little bit of, you might want to see that canvas. I'll just start at the top, and we'll just do what a little bit of Bob Ross activity would be, and just start to lay down some color. It's a nice bright day. might add a little deeper blue in there. Just to give it another layer of color. It's a little more intense today. We did the watercolor earlier, now it's a little light. I think I want to add a little bit more deepness to this color, into the sky. Okay, now I think I'm going to come back in and see if I can start to play with some clouds. Okay, so I didn't like the way the clouds were looking, so I decided to go ahead and brush that out. I am going to go ahead and look at the idea of maybe some mountain hill type in the background, and I'm going to go with a little burnt sienna, some crimson, and some ochre. Kind of mix in a little bit of an outline for our little hills. I think I'm going to go something like, and create a little horizon with some hills, a little foothill. Mountains are off in the range. I'm going to have a combination of space that's going on there. And they're coming this way. Maybe something along those lines here. Warm day, so you can have a little brightness to it. And creating little valleys. The idea of like maybe a little bit of greenery in there too. Little spaces for these hills to have creatures and maybe some friendly animals enjoying their day. All kind of coming down towards, I think we're going to have a little creek or water source where this will be. So now we have a little bit of a horizon line. You have a little bit of some color for dimension and for some valleys. So you can see how it's all coming down towards, it's going to be the surface. And I think it'll be some sort of water source that we're going to have there. A little creek or a river maybe. And first we'll try to put in a little bit of some forestry. Make it interesting. We'll add a little bit of yellow in there, lighten it up. And we'll just do a few pine trees. Residing on our mountainous hilly top here. Do some branches. I'll do a few more, kind of residing there, a little darker. Coming down the hilly top. We'll offer a couple more kind of on this hill here. Again, just sort of giving the indication of a little pine forest. And we'll do some more coming down. Try to get the indication of branches. Little branches kind of got away from me there. We'll add some more. They're never always perfectly lined, so you're going to have a little bit off to the side. We'll play with that a little bit. Maybe little crooked ones. I'll do a few more coming down. Sometimes it gets a little bit muddled and you have to kind of get back in there to really see your branches, but you just keep playing with it. Allow yourself to get your hilltop pine trees, a little indication of your forest, and coming off, coming down into the valley. Creating a couple more off this one. And as it's further away, make just the indication of one, kind of like it's coming around the bend. You can see that it's a sort of forest area. And then as you're coming further in, you're going to see them getting a little bit darker. You're going to see that they're going to be coming in a little bit further in. As you get closer, they'll get a little darker, a little bit more pigment. We'll lighten those up a little bit as we get some more sunlight. And now we're just trying to get the forest. And the pine trees established. Maybe one more kind of right in this area here. Kind of in the shadowy part of the mountain range. And now we have, you can have the valley in different areas, but now we're going to look at being able to see if we can add what looks like maybe some grasses and some flowers. And we'll just try to see if we can sprinkle it along the valley here. I'm going to add a little. We'll do a little of the yellows, and we'll just sort of like highlight. I'm going to use a little fan brush for that, kind of sprinkle the little brushes, the little grasses along the valley. Get the indication of things kind of growing along wild. And all of that coming down towards what I think is going to be this nice little water space here. Now, the nice part is you're going to then, maybe there'll be little sprinkles of some color in there, maybe some flowers sprinkled in, some wildflowers. Maybe a little bit of reds. Happy little wildflowers in our valley. Maybe some poppies. Nice sunny day. You can see how they are just enjoying the little sun, and they're having a little fun. And then over here we can do the same, but what we'll try to do is we will see about doing a little bit more on this side here. You get the impression that the grasses are growing on the hill, opening up to the valleys, allowing for that growth from the mountains and from the forest. Now you got that nice indication of what's going on there, and then you might be able to do a little pathway. Might just sort of sneak up in see, I'm not the biggest fan of using the knife, but it does give me a indication of my path leading down from the hill towards the little spring of water. All right, and now the rest is going to be about adding a little bit more flowers to our heels. Get a little bit of wallflower spread through them. we'll continue to go back into that and kind of play that a little bit, see what I can do with this one. What I am going to try to do now is to see if I can just put a little indication of trunk, some branches. It's a little too much. All right, so now what we're going to try to do is add a little bit of water. The water source, we're going to make it a nice sunny day. So we're going to add some more water to it. We're going to make a little white. And we're just sort of kind of going along where the water is meeting the horizon that the heels are falling into. But it's a river, so we're gonna have it coming around and maybe coming around this bend here. And it's definitely bleeding into the water. I'm gonna have that come this way. And it's gonna come across. I think over here we're gonna have a little area and do some fishing. So I think we're gonna do like a little bay or rocky space where we can come up and do some fishing, enjoy the hills coming down from the mountains. So right in these areas we're going to have some rocks, and we're going to play with
I didn't get that. Could you try?
We're going to do a little mixing to get ourselves a nice gray, like blue gray, a little bit of brown. Get some rocks in there. And we're going to go first in this, and we're just going to start to do like, you know, the first where it's coming off of the little, we'll have a little area here on the opposite side. some areas for the rocks, like a little path, maybe some little stepping type stones. We'll have little ones over here. And it's going to be on this little sandy bay area. I have some rocks throughout, some bigger ones, maybe some along this way, maybe more as we're going along, some more small little ones. Gonna have some rocks sporadic along the shore. Have some more coming that way, off the shore itself. And then, as well as that one. See some more bigger rocks, some croppings. We have a couple here, and one big one in this area here. And some other ones along the edge here. You can sit and ponder, enjoy our day, set up an area so we can fish and talk. Makes for a very interesting little scene here.